Now, at the minute, I know a lot of people right now are talking about Beyonce's world tour, which of course brings her to Sunderland, and the tickets went on sale this morning. Big issue though, did you get your tickets? Were you one of the people left disappointed? I know loads of fans had technical difficulties trying to buy the tickets, including my friend who was buying me a ticket, so I'm fuming. And that's after one of the distributors, Ticketmaster, wrongly thought some genuine fans were classed by the computer system as bad traffic. In other words, you know the software designed to buy up tickets so they can be sold, well, resold for even more money. Now Ticketmaster said it handled an extraordinary level of demand, which outstripped supply, but that thousands of fans did actually manage to get their tickets. But ticketing experts say it doesn't really have to be like this. Now, David Hornby is from Secutix, a company which he says could really solve this kind of problem. Good evening, David. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
I'm really good. I mean, no, I say really good, but I'm angry about the tickets.
Yeah.
Because, do you know what, David? There's a real problem, isn't there, in the ticketing industry, with genuine fans really missing out to software which actually buys these tickets automatically when they go on sale. I mean, how much of an issue do you think it is?
I think it's a real issue, Kelly. You know, I think fans, artists themselves, I'm sure the managers, and now even politicians are getting frustrated by this. And I think the fans should be at the heart of it. There are solutions out there that does allow fans to buy well. Obviously, if there's a massive queue because there's lots of demand, there are certain things that you need to put in place to manage those queues. But simply, you know, those kind of software tools you're referring to are called bots. Those can be managed. Those can be managed well. But it needs to be modern, engaging software to do that. And there are solutions out there, Kelly.
Well, you, David, you've got Secutix. You've developed software to stop this happening. So how does that work? And is it quite straightforward and something that you're surprised that isn't already out there?
Yeah, I think when you've got massive events going on, whether it be a Beyonce tour or a Coldplay tour or a major football tournament or a major sporting event, there's no doubt that there's a lot of people trying to buy tickets, and some of those people are trying to do it fraudulently. So there are ways to stop those people trying to buy. They're trying to use identities which they don't own. They're trying to use software to scalp tickets. And there are solutions. We've got some of those tools. We use other third-party ones, and our clients do. So there are solutions out there to do it. But I think the most important bit is for the fan is to make sure the fan should be asking the artists to do it securely. We've got some great examples last year of where good artists are looking at this now, like Ed Sheeran, like people like Coldplay, and they've put together, when they go on tour now, they make stipulations to how those venues and how those promoters and how those ticketing companies work. And we saw it work last year for the Ed Sheeran tour in Paris, in London, and around Europe.
Because that's, I think, even at the end of the day, the actual performers, you want real fans there, don't you? And the sad thing is, it's the people who would normally, back in the day, queue outside the store before the internet was there, that would stay up all night to try and get the tickets. It feels like they're the ones that are missing out, the real fans.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the challenge is, as you know, is that what happens is only the people that can really afford it, some of those excessive ticket prices, are actually going, and they aren't necessarily always the real fans, especially the real fans for Sunderland, who are quite local as well, and don't want to travel huge amounts of miles to go and see Beyonce in other places potentially either, because that's the cost of travel as well these days, as you know.
Now, you mentioned like Coldplay and, Ed Sheeran and people like that who did stipulate, right, we want to make sure we've got, it's set up in the right way so the right people get the tickets. Is that the sort of thing that you think needs to change to wipe the problem out, or is there anything else that can be done?
Well, I think, government has have a role. There's no doubt that government and legislation has a role, but that can't happen everywhere, and it's not consistent across the world. I think the talent has ultimately the biggest opportunities to make the difference, because they fundamentally are in control. They set the pricing. They can demand, in effect, their own rider around tickets. And, the venues, the promoters and the ticketing companies will follow when people like Beyonce and Taylor Swift, etc., say, listen, this is the way I want it to happen now. And the solutions are there,
And the people who do like the weird bots or however they do it, buying these tickets in bulk, do they have to be really clever to do that? Are these big organisations doing it, or is it just individuals who are kind of hacking in a way?
Well, a lot of it is individuals, but because of the technology becoming easier and easier now in terms of automation, there are people with pretty simple skills who can do these things and recruit people to help them. It tends to be not necessarily just in our country, because obviously people are buying these tickets from all around the world. We see people attacking these sales from everywhere, from Russia to Eastern Europe to the US and the UK. So it's not just a UK issue. People are getting these tickets, buying these tickets all over the world to resell them.
I know, and that's a nightmare, isn't it? Well, it's great. It's so nice to speak to you because, you know, there's a lot of us. I was one of the people saying, well, my friend was trying to get the tickets for us, and you're kind of going, what is going on, and trying to understand it. And I agree with what you said at the start. Sometimes it is simply because there's too many of us fans who want tickets, and I totally understand that. You know, in the past, you've gone to try and buy a ticket in person at a venue and they're sold out. But I think it feels unfair, doesn't it, when it isn't? That's not the case. I don't mind not getting a ticket because other real fans got there ahead of me. I'll take that every time.
Exactly,
but when I think it's someone kind of doing it to take it to sell it for a lot of people, and I think that's right. Maybe that is it now, that it is the artist that needs to say enough is enough.
Yeah, well, I think that's starting to happen. You know, I can see it around the world now. It's obviously an active subject right this minute all around the world, and you know, there are solutions. Mobile's part of it. You know, there are secure mobile solutions now, and fair pricing, I think, is a key to it as well. And the artists can make sure that happens. So I will support them if they come and ask us.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on. That's David Hornby from Secutix. Obviously, we're talking about a lot of people having issues getting all kinds of tickets, but the Beyonce ones are the ones that we're really thinking about at the minute. And it seems like there is a way eventually for these problems to get solved. So hopefully it is sooner rather than later. I just hope Beyonce does that next time she releases some tickets, please, because I really want to go, and I'm sure I'm not the really want to go, and I'm sure I'm not the really want to go, and I'm sure I'm not the really want to go, and I'm sure I'm not the really want to go, and I'm